Hi, I'm 62 years old and I'm finally proud to be gay. Um, I wasn't proud because I was born that way. I was born gay. It's just like having blue eyes or blonde hair, which I had once upon a time. Um, so I wasn't proud of it. I came out to my family 20 years ago and they were, okay, you can be gay. That's fine. Don't talk about it. Don't do anything about it. Don't kiss a guy. Don't hold his hand. Don't hold anybody's male's hand. In fact, the one time that I told somebody that I was gay, when I was working with them and my mother was there, she pulled me aside and said, "Don't tell people that. I'm tolerant. I had many gay friends when I was, or a lot of them, gay friends when I was working. Um, but don't tell people." So I don't know. Maybe she told those gay friends all those years ago, "Don't tell people." I don't know. I don't know how she got from "don't tell people" to "I'm tolerant," but somehow she did. There were a lot of other things. When I was a child, I was born in the late 50s and was a small child in the early 60s. And there was only one way to be a man back then. One way. There was no gray, there was no iffy. There was one way to be a guy, and all of the books and all of the movies and all of the TV shows and all my male relatives and all my male friends, there was just one way. You had to be this way, a certain way. You had to like sports, and the only sporty thing I was good at was jumping rope, which did not please my father. And pleasing my father was one of the things that prevented me from being really proud. When I was a very small child, there was a commercial. There was a bunch of little scenes, one of which was a man. You didn't see his face, you just saw his torso. He had magnificent pecs and abs, sculpted abs, which is something you didn't see in the 60s, early 60s anyway, not even in the movies. And they were really something, I'm telling you. I was like, I couldn't wait for that ad to come on. And luckily back then they ran ads like that, every 15 seconds practically. So I told my dad, "Dad, my tummy sticks out. And that's just the way it is. And that's fine. But that looks good to me. I would like that." And he paused and he said, "Jamie, there's going to come a time when you are going to want to do things. Don't do them." And then he got a little funny and he said, "Well, don't think about it. Don't worry about it." Because we had a little real moment there. Because I realized there was something that was different about me then. I didn't know what it was. Honestly, I had no idea, but I knew there was something that wasn't right. And all through my early life, that was reconfirmed. I mean, I was the eldest grandchild on both sides, incredibly spoiled. I got everything I wanted, just all the time. Like when we went up to my grandparents on my father's side, and there were no toys. They'd all grown, so there was no toys, and I was the eldest grandchild. There weren't any cousins really to play with. They were a little smaller than me, and we went into town, and there was this farm set of plastic animals. And I said, I wanted that, and I whined for it, and my dad said, "No, you don't need that." And I said, "But there's no toys here." And my dad said, "No." And we were with my grandfather and some uncles and some aunts, and so we went home. And then a little while later, my grandfather went out, and he came back, and he had bought the bag of plastic animals. And about 10 minutes later, one of my uncles came home, and he had gone into town and bought the bag of plastic animals. And one of my aunts came home, and she had used her babysitting money and bought me the bag of plastic animals. So I had 3 bags. 3 bags full. That was me, always getting what I wanted, which just made me even whinier, and I tend to be a little bitchy anyway. I don't like it, but I am. So but especially the time that I grew up in, and my father wanting there to be. We came from a little bit of a prominent family, like I said. I'm Richard James Eldridge III. He was the second. Grandfather was the first. My ancestor was Samuel Tilden, who should have been president. He won the popular vote, just like Hillary Clinton. But there was an electoral college, so he didn't get to be president. Neither did Hillary. So we got the Orangeman, who rules us. Doesn't like gay people. I have a strong feeling, no matter what he says. Although you can't trust what he says. But anyway, I'm now proud. I got through my early childhood, and my dad imprinted on me that having a son and naming him after me, having Richard James Eldridge IV, was important. And I wanted it. I still want it on a level. And if I'd had a daughter, I would have been happy. I love children, and I would love to have a child of my own. But I'm poor, and I know that children are a privilege. They're not a right. And if I'd had a daughter, I would have been happy, and I would not have named her Ricarda Jane. But I'm proud now. It took me a while, but I'm here, and I'm proud.